All right, let's see what happens here. Oh, that's what I don't want on my video. Okie dokie. Give me a second here. Got to, I didn't want that to happen. Close that. All right, I guess we're set. Let me set myself up here. Okay, welcome. As you see, it's just regular black and white. Okay, and it's craft paint. All right, this is a, I would gather, probably 12 by 16. It's just plain watercolor paper, 145-pound watercolor paper. That's it. No backing board or anything. I just took one of my large sheets and cut it in half. All right. Okay. Alrighty then. Well, I'm going to pretty much do a black and white picture, and I will most likely color it later. All right. Now I know I got the paper covering most of the screen, and I got the box right here. We will move the box accordingly. All right. Okay. I'm not really going to do, hey Jessica, how you doing? Good to see you. So what I'm going to do is not really concentrate on the sky. That may come in later, but I think I'm gonna do a pretty big mountain, probably some I'll do a mountain, I'll do some hills, foothills maybe, and maybe throw a tree in there and then let it dry. And maybe if I got enough time, because I have to leave in a couple hours, if I got time, maybe if it dries quick enough, I'll do some coloring. Okay. All right, so I'm gonna get right on to it here. I'm just trying to think on what do I want to do as far as the mountain's concerned. Well, I guess I'll do it more or less. I'll do it this way. I'll start off with the mountain. Okay, I'm gonna take a flat brush. All right, I'll take a flat brush. Remember, this is craft paint. All right. Hey, Billy. All right, what's going on, Billy? Billy, meet Jessica. Jessica, that's my friend, artist friend Billy. Billy is a spray can artist. Okay. All right, I'm gonna get enough gray here. I want the mountain a little bit on the light side. All right, so I'm gonna push out some of this craft paint white. All right, it's really thin paint. I'm gonna just touch my brush into some black here and just kind of put it in there, and I'll get a nice tone of black that I can kind of work with. I'll add more white. I want to lighten it up a little bit there, like that. Make a nice light mountain, because when I put colors in it, then the mountain looks like it's way back there somewhere. All right, so I'll just lighten up the mountain a little bit, just like this. Once again, I'm just using apple barrel craft paint, the kind of paint you get in those little jars at Walmart. One of those. That's all I'm using. So I'll get a nice light gray. I think that might work. This might work. It might be light enough. It might be light enough. We'll see in a second. Okay, so I want a mountain range pretty much going across. Okay, and so what I'm going to do is just kind of sketch out the top of the mountain like that, and I'm going to go a little higher, a little lower. I really want craggy kind of mountain thing going here, kind of sharp edges here. Now, if I don't like the way it looks, I can kind of sharpen some things here, but I'm checking it out right now to see. Now I'm gonna take the rest of this paint. I'm gonna go down a little bit like this. Now I want the mountains to kind of fade, but it's not gonna fade with just this regular paint and nothing on it because this surface is dry. Okay. Remember, I'm kind of concentrating on the mountain being this light. Well, not necessarily super light gray, but it's gray enough. And I'm just bringing the mountain down a little bit here. He's a good man, Jessica. Billy. Billy lives in Florida. Okay. Now that I've pretty much got the mountain somewhat where I want it. Somewhat. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a little bit of glycerin because I need to get the mountain to kind of fade away. All right. Now what I'm going to do is take my camera and move it up a little bit there. All right. Because the bottom is what I want you to kind of check out. All right. Okay. Hey, Madonna, how are you? So I'm rinsing off my brush. Okay. Now, how far do I want to bring the mountain down? How far do I want? Because I don't really want too much glycerin right now because glycerin takes a little while to dry. Even though I'm on nothing but paper, and paper is I'm only going down maybe an inch and a half. Paper is porous, but that means that the glycerin soaks through the paper. That's all that means. So I'm going to bring this glycerin down a little bit, just down far enough so I can blend and fade out the mountain. That's all. So I'm going to take some of this gray. Okay. And I'm going to come up here and I'm just going to wipe across like that. Nice thick line of gray. As you can see, it makes it transparent. So I'm going to go over it a few times because I'm going to need it to kind of blend here, just like that. I'm going to just blend it a little bit. All right. Then I'm going to take this brush. I'll take the same brush. It's okay. And now I'm going to blend that. Not here, but down here. Down here. I'll just kind of do quick left and right strokes because I want to blend, softly blend this mountain into the white of the paper. I don't have to necessarily have it even. I'll fix the focus. I know. Well, it's all right. It's okay. I'm just blending out the mountain a little bit. Don't worry about this up here. I know you got that little line, but that's all right. I'm gonna blend that out. Once again, don't worry about that. You're not even gonna really see that much. Okay. Yeah, you're not gonna really see none of this too much. I can blend it, but you're not gonna really see it. You're not gonna tell that line's gonna be there because it's gotta dry. It's still wet. So when it's wet, it appears darker. All right, so don't worry about that. This is the part that I want. All right, now let's take a little bit of white. I'm gonna mist this a little bit, and it's just the white paper. I'm going down below the white. I'm bringing it up into the mountain. Remember, we still got the glycerin. The glycerin is still pretty wet. Now, craft paper is craft paint is fairly thin, so I can kind of get away with a blend like this. It's just white on white. As you can see, I can blend it up into the mountain a little bit. And it's gonna kind of blend in with the white of the paper. But I'm only concerned about down here. Once again, this is really thin paint, so you can go over it as many times as you feel you need to. Okay, I'm even going up until that mark. All right, we can do that too. In case that little mark kind of disturbs you, we can go up into that mark a little bit. But I'm thinning it out just like that. I'm not going to do the whole thing, because we're going to bring some of the mountain texture down. Okay, but remember, this painting will be pretty much light. The mountain will be light. I got to be careful because I'm going up into the area where, see, there's no glycerin here, but that's okay. I'm not going to cover all of it. So we got a little misty stuff going on, but I'm only bringing it to where the glycerin line is. And because I'm messing with glycerin, okay, and glycerin's pretty thin. Our glycerin is reflective, and it makes your paint transparent a little bit. But I want the mountain to be more or less this bright or this light. Let's put that down there, okay? Hey, Sonia and Madonna, greetings. And Jessica's teasing me about the coffee, but I actually had a couple cups of coffee before I started painting here. Once again, I'm going to keep this fairly light. The only part that has glycerin is down here. Okay, it's somewhat dry and getting tacky, but this is only a base down there. Okay, I really don't need to add anything there. I just wanted to cover up the mountain a little bit. Like I said, you're not going to notice this line when I'm done with the texture. All right, okay. All right, now craft paint, that's all it is. I want to put mountain texture in here, but there's a but there. That paint is too thin for the type of mountains I would like to do. Therefore, I will get what is called modeling paste. Okay, I'll bring it up to the camera. You guys can see it here. All right, that's all this stuff is. All right, it doesn't make your paint lighter. It doesn't make your paint darker at all. Okay, what it does do, because it is transparent, is that it makes your paint thicker, so you can actually add texture and all that's to it. Okay, as you can see, you see that some of this thin paint is drying, but I got enough color to make a difference, and I'm gonna add a little white to that to lighten it up just a little bit, lighten up that gray, so I can add the texture to the mountain. Now, this paste is also water soluble. When air gets in contact with it, it does dry. Okay, so I'm gonna thin it out pretty good. The thinner you have it laid out, you know, the more texture you can kind of get away with doing. So I'm thinning it right out there. All right, you don't need too much. So I'm really concentrating on making scenery pretty much in tones of gray for right now. All right. Oh, the reason why I didn't say I had to scroll up. The reason why I didn't say hi to Sonya is because I didn't see her. Because when I'm doing this, I don't look at the screen. So it was not intentional. No, I wouldn't do that to Sonya. All right, let's add some texture. Let's go over here and let's kind of pick a mountainside. We'll start from the middle, and we'll just kind of have a little fun there, getting those nice little textures going. Now, if it's a little bit light or dark, if it's the same color as my background, that's what, or my actual mountain texture, which it seems to be, that's okay too. I can lighten it up, and I will. Now that's a little, it's a little like the same color. So I'll just take some white and lighten it up a wee bit more, so you guys can at least see the thing, right? I'll add this gray to it too. Just mix it right in there. So I just need some lighter gray so you guys can actually see the texture. Now, what if you do this like I'm doing, and it's the same color as your foundation color? Well, you just lighten it, that's all. Just like that. And I'm gonna take once again, take a nice thin bit, flatten it out. Flatten it right out. Get a nice little swipe across, so you got a nice roll on your brush or on your knife. We're gonna do it again, same spot, and very well, you know, very lightly, come across, and see, now you can see that. All right, and we're gonna do a lot of that. Just get those interesting textures going around. We'll kind of come out here. We'll just kind of bring it down there like that. And you want your paint to break. Okay. Let's do one here. Let's kind of go down. We'll kind of do one of these numbers. There's no glycerin or anything on this board. This board is completely dry. Okay. And I just want some mountain texture right now. This is more or less on the light side, and we'll kind of get it to kind of join down there like this. Get a nice swipe across, and really, you know, have a good time doing it. I want to go this way. Come on down. Now, with no glycerin on here, the paint will break even easier, so your mountains will look even more craggy looking. Let's go here like this. Let's have it meet into that one and keep going downward like that. And we're gonna get some more. Let's come here and let's go this way. We'll carry it down there, but we'll kind of swoop it that way, like that. Now you start to see. Let's get the focus going here. All right, now you get to see how all of the paint breaks. Will get your get the design of your mountain any way you want. I'll come here and I'll kind of scoop it just like this. Make a nice little curve up this way. Even though it's on the dark side of the mountain, it's okay. We'll do something with that. But I just want a nice little divot right there. I'll come here and we'll kind of bring that down. Let's kind of bring a curve up in there and bring it downward. All that nice breaking you see. Your eyes will make the shadows for you as you do this. Yeah. 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 Okay, we'll kind of bring this one, bring that one down there, kind of scoop it around like that, have a little fun. All right, we'll drag some more out, just like that. I find a thin roll of paint and no medium will help you out better if you have a little issue doing let's kind of come out this way. If you have a little issue doing little mountains and such, bring it on down this way like that. All right, okay, I'm looking at it, I'm checking it out. Now remember, this is just 12 by 16 inch watercolor paper, no backing board, none of that. All right, zero, none of that. Okay, all right, I'll come, let's get an even thinner batch, really tiny. So we're gonna go into those little bitty mountains in here, and well, I don't necessarily need to do that. I can just make a little valley there, so it looks like we got another mountain range trying to horn in on the other one. So we'll keep some of those dark. I don't necessarily have to, but I think that'll look pretty interesting. All right, so we've got that part of it set. All right, okay, now let's take some more of this here, just kind of scrape it up. So we got that much left. We're good. Get a little bit touch of black. All right, and we're gonna just darken it because we're going to do the other half of the mountain now. So we're going to go with the shadow side of the mountain. You're always going to have a dark and a light side of the mountain. All right. I still want it a little bit on the light side, quote unquote light side. Now we're going to take that mountain texture and we're going to go the other way with it. You got me? All right. What's wrong, Sonia? Did I say something foul? I didn't know if I did. You have to correct me. 'Cause I don't know. I don't know what I may have done. All right. We're going to concentrate on the shadow side of the mountain. Right around here. Right off the tape. Come on in there like that. And get a little more. And we're going to come. Oh, this is the shadow side. We're going to be in here. We're going to swoop that around. Swoop it around like that. This mountain's going to look really, really gnarly. Just like that. Get that curve in there like that. Mess with some of these. Just like that. You can really have a good time with it. All right. Don't take yourself so seriously. Come on in there like this. Now remember, all of this mountain is going to be covered in color. Okay. So right now we're really playing with different types of gray. I'm gonna go very light and curve it up into some of the parts that have color. Bring it down in here a little bit. Drag some more paint out. Nice thin roll. That's all it is. Nice little, see? Pop a little bit of love in there like that. But look at what's happening here. You're getting your two different sides. Okay. Okie dokie. Let's put some love in here. Just like so. Sometimes the trouble is if you have enough, do you actually have enough paint? I might not, but that's okay. If I don't, we'll just gather some more. Yes, I am using my right hand. I'm ambidextrous. I usually don't notice it. I just don't pay attention. But people usually kind of question me about when I switch hands like that. Okay. Let's put this over there. Cover my head. Now these textures of the rocks, I mean, it all depends on what direction you want to go. They're kind of omnidirectional, meaning when I do them, okay, I can do them in a way I can pretty much use whatever hand and go in whatever direction I really want to go in. Okay, but you see I got this mountain kind of trailing that way. All right. Okay, as you can see, I pretty much ran out and I only got like a little bit of mountain left. Kind of figures. But that's all right. We'll just darken it up here. Try to get it the same color gray. And that's pretty close right there. All right. Okay, I'm going to, once again, I got to dip into the modeling paste because that paint is way too thin. So I get a little bit of the modeling paste, pop it in there like that. And it just thickens the paint. It doesn't turn it light. It doesn't turn it dark. It just thickens your craft paint. This is craft paint. All right, the Apple Barrel Walmart brand craft paint. That's all this is. And I just mix it in there. Now, modeling paste, once again, is a medium for acrylic paint. It is water soluble and it does dry in a reasonably quick amount of time. Okay. Yep, it does dry with a little bit of quickness. Trust me, it does. Modeling paste has a little bit of grit to it. You can probably hear it through the mic. Okay. All right. Let's going on the other side here. So let's go this way. And take it and curve it up. Curve it upward. Like I said, this type of mountain texture I'm doing is really omnidirectional because I can go on the other side and do the same thing. And I'm just really just kind of making a gully in there. Get a little smidge of it and kind of put this in the back there like that. We got some love to put right here. Like I say, I only have a little bit of area, just like that. All right. Let's kind of put a little something right here, and then we kind of bring it down that way. Give them a bit of a dip over there. All right. I'm still looking. We got another spot. We got a spot right in here. Now the reason why I can get away with doing what I'm doing is because there's no medium up here. There's no glycerin or anything like that. So the paint is really breaking. It's giving you really convincing looking gaps and gullies in there. And remember, with acrylic paint, okay, see, this stuff dries fast, and you can feel it also. Okay, you can feel it. See, nothing there. It dries fast. This modeling paste gives you texture. So if you're layering over, okay, what's happening is that the paint will come off this blade onto the rough surface, which gives you those mountain-like looks there. Okay. All right. Hey, Aurora, how are you? Good to see you guys. Okay. So as I'm looking at it and I'm checking it out, I can add, well, I'll do that. Let's take a little bit of this gray, just a little bit. We'll put it right here. Let's take a whole lot of white and pop it in there. So we're gonna really lighten it up, but it's got the paste in it. I won't need too much of this. Believe it or not, well, no, I think I can get away with this. I'm gonna make some snow caps. Now, the brighter you have it, the less of it you really need. I'm gonna flatten that out really good, just like that. I just need a thin amount on my brush. I don't want the snow caps to look like super outrageous or anything. Get a small line of this. No, I can see right now it's not bright enough. Get a little bit more white. Now, since I'm adding more white, more craft paint to the paste, I need a little more paste. Okay, that's not enough paste for it. So I'll just get a little more paste, pop it in there. Even though I only need like a little ounce of this stuff, it doesn't matter, because I can darken it back again. So a little more paste to make it a little more chunky so it can grab. Once again, I'll just keep saying it. This is craft paint. Okay. It doesn't make your paint. It doesn't turn your paint lighter or darker. It's whatever. It's going to adapt to the color you put in it. All right. So, okay. I just need a thin amount, just like that. Really, even that's too much. There. Just something really thin. Okay. And here we go. Now I can go really light because we got texture on here. And what's going to happen is that when I put the other color on this stuff, okay, when I put other paint on top of this, you'll definitely see the shift. All right. So when I glaze other color on top of this, which is also another reason why I'm not using a lot of glycerin, because I kind of want this once again to dry fast, and it'll show you guys exactly what's going on, what I'm talking about, so it doesn't appear that I'm totally crazy. Let's do it here on the side. Let's bring it down a little bit. But you can, you know, you start to see little bits of highlights and stuff going on. All right, I don't have to go extreme with the color. That won't be necessary. Let's do some here. And I'm just really just kind of sliding it across. Let's do it. Let's do it right here. Just have it just kind of drop down like this. And yeah, I'll drop down like that. Slide it down. Let's get like a little glacier thing going right here. Have it come down. All right. Slide that over so you guys can see what I'm doing here. Oh, we got one here, and let's kind of curve it up, curve it like that, bring it on down, just like that. Bring it downward. Okay. I remember when I put color over it, you'll see, which is why the sky is pretty blank up there. Okay. All right. Let's establish some foothills. So let's take my little graphic and let's put it up there. So we're going to concentrate down here. Okay. All right. Let's get, we still have this gray here. I may be able to get away with a little bit of this color for it, so I won't have to adjust anything. Let's take a fan brush real quick. I'll take a tiny fan brush. All right, and I'll dip right in there because there's plenty of it here. And I'll kind of pull it out here to me. Now this paint is pretty thick, it's pretty chunky here. All right, so I'll probably be going, my dog is snoring, I hear him. He sounds like a well-fed hippo. Okay, so I'll put it in here. And we're gonna get some cute little foothill things going. I'm gonna just mash my brush pretty good here to get the bristles to open up. And what I'm gonna do is to do these foothills, you're gonna go in the path, the direction of the hills. All right. So if you're going up here by the hills, I'll just do a couple of little tabs here, and I'm going in the direction of the hills there. I'll press hard on some and press light on the others, and it looks like little upright trees. See this? Don't make them even. All right. Now I'm aiming my brush downward so we get those little upright deals happening there. See? Some trees are a little thicker in patches than others. Some go down a little bit further than others. But as you can see, I'm still going with that angle. It's the angle. All right, that's going to help you and give the impression of foothills down there. Oh yeah, Bruce put his time in today. I think he had to pick up his son or something. If his son works those crazy nighttime hours like that. Come out here a little bit. As you can see, I'm not really putting the trees once again in a direct line. Okay. It gives a little interest to your mountain. The trees are only gonna go up a certain elevation. All right. Because sometimes the oxygen gets a little thin for a tree and it won't grow, which is why you got bare-faced rocky outcrops in mountains. So we're gonna kind of scatter some here like this, just like that. Okay, bring some over here, and some of them are patchy, some of them are not. You follow me? Put some kind of dangling up there, but come on down here a little bit. And I'll just keep tapping away till I get what I'm looking for, what I want. All right, and that's it. Okay. All right, let's move this camera up this way. If I can get it there, slide over there. All right, so you guys get to kind of see what's happening there. Okay, just like that. All right. So we got our mountains. Let's tighten up that focus a little bit. Every time I put a layer on, okay, the camera has a little difficulty. All cameras will have a little difficulty kind of seeing depth. Okay, so I kind of had to touch it quite a bit there. Remember, we got nothing but plain blank white up here, plain blank white here on the bottom. All right, okay. Now I can add. Now I have to be careful how I want to do this, because whatever I want for middle ground, all right, it has to be situated in a way to where I have enough room to put something in between, or in the front. Okay, so I'm just looking right now to see what do I want to do as far as that's concerned. Because if I do put trees here, it has to be like medium sized, so it might not be able to. Yeah, I can actually have it go past the mountain here if I want them that way. So I'm just thinking of where to kind of put it, because I think I know what I want to do here. So let's get with to do what I'm about to do, I'm going to have to make the trees obviously a little larger, but it has to be darker to kind of sell the image of these guys that are in the background. Okay, all right. So let's put we'll put a couple pines in there. It has to be a little bit darker than this. Okay, a little bit darker than that color. All right, let's go into here. We got a little bit of this dark gray. We're gonna mix this up because I can always, well, that's dry, and that's getting halfway there. I can mix this light gray with the dark gray. It doesn't matter, because what we're gonna do is just add more black to it, like that. And don't worry, we're gonna keep mixing it. It'll lighten up there. Okay, now you can get various tones of gray. Remember, gray is a neutral color, and this is the most basic way to get your gray. It's just black and white, like so. Okay, I'm just mixing it in fairly well, because remember, a lot of this will be, well, all of what you're seeing will be in color, or will have color applied to it. I'll put it to you that way. All right. Okay, though, this I think I'll put the pines. I'll put them here. Okay. There had to be a certain width and a certain size. So I will put them here, and when I put them here, I have them go this way, so it'll be kind of in that motion. Okay, because you don't want to really hide too much of the mountains. All right, and there's gonna be no fog or anything. It's just gonna be what you see right now. All right, okay. So I'll kind of make them a little interesting looking. I can have them, let's have one right here. Okay, and what I'm gonna do, well, here, I'll do it this way. I'll just kind of mark it to where I want this thing, right about there. And I'll just take the tiniest edge right there, and I'll just give it a little tap. Okay, and then as I go down, I'm going left to right. Now, because these trees are a little on the dark side, I'll get some interesting looking patterns with them. As I go further down, obviously, they get bigger. I can take and curl them up a little bit, whatever. Just like that. All right. It will just naturally send that mountain back. All right, I'm not gonna make them I'm not gonna make them too wide. I can put a shorter one right here, kind of curving in a little bit. So I only need that much of a guide right there. And once again, I'll just take the corner. I like the middle pretty thick, just like so. Actually, I like the way that looks, so I'm gonna just keep him right here. I like the way he looks, just like that. It gives me a little more sense of depth when I do something of that nature. Let's put one a little closer, a little closer, right here. But what I'm going to do on this guy, you think he's going to be the same size as the one in the back? He's not. No, he's coming lower. He's going to be around the same distance as the one in the front. Okay. Now I just established a plane, smaller one further back. Then these guys are around the same size back here. Okay. And then I can add, because it's darker, I can add some nice little grassy things in here, just like this. All right, so you guys can kind of see where I'm heading with this. See this? Just add a few things back here. And what I'm doing really is just establishing a plane. All right, I'll just keep it right about there. All right. So you can really play around with this. You can also add water to this if need be. You can add a little water. Let's have, I always want a crooked tree. Why? I don't know. I just like a crooked tree. Don't ask me why. Have him run into his little friend just like that. All right, so we got a little crooked tree in there. Yeah, he's crooked. He's a lawyer tree. Okay. And we can just have some here. We kind of put some little straggly looking things right up in there, just like that. Some little wild plant looking things, kind of pop them in there, something like that. All right. Okay. Let's go.
I was wondering if you could put my calculator in the calendar and this.
The calculator and the calendar?
I gotta go and I gotta find a folder. They stick it in a folder.
Oh, so you want? Okay, do you want the program to be on the phone?
Yeah.
Okay, let me see it real quick.
I don't know how to do this.
Yeah, let me see it.
And that one is my calculator.
All right. Do you want the calculator on there?
Yep, right on. So I can get right to it.
All right. Let's see here. Well, okay. I'm gonna show you. Well, you'll be on screen, so I'll just do it and I'll show you later. Okay.
And no idea where a calendar is in there.
Your calendar will be in your main menu. I'll find it here because they all of these pretty much work the same. Okay. Where are you? Where are you? There you are. You're right there in front of my face. Come to Papa. Come on. Come on. Come on. There. Come on. Slide over. Are you there? I got it. I just want to move it over to your next window. Wherever your main window is. I don't know where your main window is. It usually would be where your clock is. And I didn't notice the clock.
No, I don't see that on there either.
It's a widget. I'd have to put it there. But here, it's your clock and your calculator's there.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Hey, Bruce, what's going on, man? Good to see you, Bruce. Okay, so we got our trees a little darker. All right, we'll just use a little bit of white, and we'll mix it in with this darker gray, just like that. I don't need to do too much. I am going to water it down just a little bit. A thin paint does work with a thick paint. Now this is craft paint, and I just got modeling paste in it. All right, that might be a little too watery. Let's get some of that out of my brush, because I just need a light touch. Okay, let's look over here. All right, now just kind of, yeah, our lighter side is on the left, so I'll just kind of pop in. Now remember, when I add color to this, it's going to pick up on this stuff. You follow me? Remember, it's still gray. How dark or how light it is, it's still gray, and gray is an inviting color even when the gray is super dark, like you see here. All right, and I'll just kind of tap the ones that are a little closer to us. We'll play with these, just like that. Pop them in there. All right, and we're gonna lighten up some of these grassy areas here. And I'm not using any glycerin. There's no glycerin. This is just craft paint and a little water. Reason being, because I want this stuff to dry. I don't have to have it super bright. This is just the middle area. You got me? All right. I can take some of this gray, this lighter stuff here, and we'll just kind of pop in some grasses here. It's just me establishing that we have land here. Just like that. You make it heavier up here, down here rather, and a little more sparse out here, so it gives you a sense of distance. So little specks here, but a little heavier up front, like that. And once again, and you bring some of that up here if you want, because it once again, it just establishes distance. You got me? So they're heavier, they're larger here, a little darker, like that, but really tiny and sparse back there. Not as many of them, but they kind of crowded up here. You can bring some of that down here too. You don't have to make it super even. Don't do that. All right, you don't want little toy soldiers. Just like that. Now, this is now established firmly as middle ground. So you got your background, you got the foothills, and them foothills look, quite a ways away back there. Then you got this here, which is a little more approachable. Like, you can just walk up here. You'll be walking quite a while to get to the forest here, but they're right here. Okay. Now, anything I want to put in front of this has to wait, because now all of this needs to be colored in, blocked in. All right. Okay. I'm not doing too bad as far as time is going. So once again, this is, hey Bruce, this is Jessica. Jessica, that's Bruce. Yeah, I got a pretty decent group here. So, alrighty now. Let's put this guy back. I don't need him. I'm gonna need to get rid of some of this. We can scrape this away. So this is nothing but craft paint, Bruce. Craft paint and water. The only time I needed glycerin was the bottom part of the mountain. I had added a little bit of glycerin, a little bit of white and light gray, just to give a fade there. All right, and that's all I did. I just wanted to clean this up here pretty good, just to, because I really don't need this as of right now. But I am going to glaze the glaze color on here. Okay. All right. You don't really have to have your grays this dark if you don't want them to be. Up to you. Now I can get away with a darker glaze or a thicker glaze. This is almost dry. We gotta look a little bit of stuff right there. All right, but you just let the air hit it, and it's all right. Okay, but I did use modeling paste for this. I used modeling paste for the just for the texture of the mountains here, and you can still, you know, you see little bits of the color difference, and you'll see it once colors applied to it. You'll start to see it more. Okay, things will look different once color is applied to this. All right. Okay, I really don't need this black and white either, but you know what, it's out there. I'll just keep it there. Okay, once this is fully dry, okay, then I will add the glycerin to the whole thing. Okay, and then we'll start applying color. But once again, I have to make sure this is totally dry. All right. Okay. Let's put this down here for a sec. All right, and well, I'll just keep it here. When I get to, because I'm going to show you how I'm gonna mix the glycerin here. Okay, and then I'll just make that disappear, and we'll start filling all of this in. I can now at this point, okay, it's really your preference of what you want to look at. How do you want this to look? I'm thinking right now, I'm thinking probably a little bit of yellow ochre, because it's yellow with a little bit of brown in it, and I think that'll make it kind of give it a really cool Midwestern type of old-timey look. All right, so we'll do it like that. Okay, and I was really thinking of a deciduous tree, or you know, one of those really frilly type of trees here somewhere, or I can put some real interesting looking boulders here. You know, give them real funky kind of shapes. Make them larger. I can't make little ones, just make them kind of big, space them out, so it looks, there's an entity right here in the front. Okay, so I'm thinking about that, making that, I'll make that decision as I slap the glycerin on here. So I really don't know as of yet what I'm going to do there. All right, let's get a little bit of yellow ochre out. I'm going to try to use up all of this. Okay, I have another one here. You know, I usually, you know, I end up buying doubles. All right. I don't know if many of you seen one of these, or even know what it is. Nothing but a paint roller. Okay, that's all it is. Okay, if you use tubes of paint like I do, pretty it's left or right-handed. All right, so I'll show it to you right-handed folk. And you just take it, you can kind of bend that downward. When you take it and roll it, and you roll all the paint up to the top. You can kind of tell, because it either gets stuck or it just stops. All right, and you just peel out, and there's what's left of the paint. All right. Really, really cool to have. Okay, let's throw this. So I'm going to use quite a bit of it, so we'll just kind of throw some of that right in there like that. All right. All right. Now, the ratio of paint and glycerin, directly up to you, but remember, just remember that glycerin will make this stuff very transparent. Okay, it will streak, but glycerin expands when it dries, so the streaks disappear. Okay, all right. Okay, when I do add, here, let me show you something else. I can get away with this. Let me show you something else before I move on. This is pretty neat. Well, I mean, I can show you what I'm about to do. Yeah, screw it. I'm gonna show you. I'm going to show you because maybe you guys would like to do this. I'll take a filbert here. I'm going to take some gray, extremely light gray. All right, because I still want this to dry fast, so I'm not going to use glycerin for this. But I'm going to just take some really light gray, a little dot of black, and a whole lot of white. Okay, just like that. I'm going back into my white because I really want it extremely light. There's a reason for this. Okay, now if I want stuff to fade, I got a short window and I'll do it. I'll just play with it that way. Okay, so I got this real light stuff here, but watch, I'm gonna go right here and I'll just make some clouds real quick. Okay, even that's too dark, but that's all right. That's all right. I can work with this too. And I'm just taking the side of the brush and I'm just kind of popping it in there, just like that. And I'm just scumbling. Okay. I'm going to take some white. All right, and we're going to kind of blend some of that. Blend it right in there. Now, obviously, I did not take the gray off of my brush. So we got little tinges of gray in there, but that's all right. But you see it's getting lighter and lighter. But wait, what happens when I add the ochre to it? Okay. Let's get some more white. Now, this is craft paint white. It's not titanium white. But I'm gonna show you what it's gonna look like once I'm done playing Cloud Maker over here. Just interesting little patterns there. The ochre and everything will take care of the rest. And believe it or not, I ran out of white. Where did I get that paint roller? I could really, okay. I just got it off of eBay. You can get it off eBay or Amazon. There it is, apple barrel white. Nothing fancy. Got the number of what kind of white, but it's just white. Very soupy, watery stuff. Okay, this is the stuff I pour I use my glycerin in. Okay, there. All that drip you heard is just dry paint hitting my bucket. You see how watery it is. All right, you know I have to shake it up and everything. I had this thing for almost 2 years. I very rarely use it except for maybe mixing it in with glycerin, or if I need a background that needs to be lighter, then I'll use this stuff. Okay, all right. I'm still not gonna clean the brush, but I got this watered down, watery white paint here, so it's still gonna pick up color. And you can still see it. You got a short window to do all your blending though. But I'm glad that I did pick this, just the white here, because I want to show you what it's going to look like with different versions of white or gray mixed in together. Okay, I can still take this white, because it is white, and kind of pop it in there in there with the other colors there. I'm going to go right here behind that mountain. And come here on the other side of the mountain. Just you still want a sense of depth in here. Depth with a PTH. Okay, just like that. All right, but that's what I wanted. Okay, I wanted to show you something as I'm doing this. Like I say, maybe you guys would like to try this. All right, I'm just cleaning off the brush. I'll put the brush back. Guess it's time to scrape off this. Let's get rid of that. Okay, let's go into our, I'll take this brush. I'm going to go into a little bit of glycerin. This is just a 1.5 inch flat. All right. Now once again, I'm going to show you how to do this, and then this screen will go away. I'll flip it away here. All right. So I'm going into my glycerin here. Now your ratio of glycerin to paint is really up to you. I'm going to put it right here. Get a little bit of this and put it right in there. All right. Now what is going to happen is this glycerin is going to just make this paint very transparent. Don't try this really with craft paint, because craft paint, as you can see, is kind of watery to begin with. All right. So with craft paint, what you're going to end up doing really, if all you have is craft paint, is just use water. You're just going to have to handle it like watercolor. Unfortunately, acrylic, when you handle it like watercolor turns lighter when it dries. Acrylic turns darker when it dries, and it will streak on you. Okay, so you have to play with it to see exactly what you want to do, where you want to go with it. All right, I'm just getting some more glycerin, believe it or not. All right, piled on my brush, and I'm putting it right into the paint. Needed pretty transparent stuff here. All right. Pretty transparent. Now there is no glycerin here, so I'm gonna glaze this whole painting. Okay, but I want to show you how much of this stuff I'm using, how much of it I got. All right, get yourself enough of it so you don't have to guess how much the ratio is between both of them. Okay, now you see what I have there, and I'll just coat the brush pretty good with this stuff when I use it. All right, let's make this disappear so you guys see the whole thing. Once again, I'm gonna just glaze the whole deal. Okay, all right. So as a certain Afro gentleman would say, here come your bravery test. All right. Now, if you got the glycerin in the paint, if you got it thin enough, you'll see what's gonna happen up here. Okay. All right. Okay, here we go. Ready or not? Just pop it in there. Now I can tell I got plenty of glycerin on there, so it's just gonna do its. Whoops! It's just gonna do its thing. Put it right in there, and it's dry, so you can kind of wipe away and do exactly what you see me doing. You just, once again, don't be scared. Just put it in there. Okay, don't even play with it. This is why you'd use a larger brush also. The glycerin's in there fairly well, and so I can just kind of stroke it around. See how it's starting to do its thing, but that's all right. Just keep going. You're going in whatever direction. Okay, the glycerin's gonna kind of break up a little bit and do what it's gonna do. But look at the sky. This is what I'm talking about. Okay, it really, I gotta get some more glycerin here. Now, I just gotta get a little bit glycerin and paint mixed. It doesn't take long while I'm explaining this to you. But what is going on is that whatever hue, which is, you know, the intensity of the color, that's what's gonna bring out either the lights or the darks. So if you use a darker hue, it's going to bring out more of the light. If you use a lighter hue, it's going to bring out more of the dark. So it works in opposite. You follow me? It works in the opposite. Okay. Once again, don't be scared. Put it right in there. Now, drying time. This is more glycerin than paint because it's pretty much a glaze right now. Okay. You can use heavier, you can go more paint if you want, but remember, the more paint and less glycerin, the more opaque. So keep that in mind also. So you have to kind of pre-plan things when you do stuff like this. Okay. Now once it's all done, people are going to really wonder, how on earth did you get that color? Because no one's going to really see the process of how you did it. They're just going to see the end result. You know, they're never going to really know. that you glaze the whole thing. Okay. Now remember, glycerin expands while drying. It also depends on the temperature of the room. Okay. But this is why I also emphasize this stuff has to be totally dry. Your acrylic paint has to be totally dry before you put this stuff on. But then again, if you use more glycerin or more paint than glycerin, it will dry that much faster. Okay. And don't worry about the streaks. Once again, I tell you, the streaks will disappear. Okay. I'm going lighter with the strokes and lighter. All right. But this is really what I want you to check out. All right. See that? And people are really going to wonder, well, what the heck did you do to make your car? You know, they want to know how did that color come? Even though it's just gray and you just put yellow over it. But no one knows that. Okay, only you guys know. All right. And that's basically how it's done. Okay. And so I'm looking at it here. And whatever starts to bubble up or whatever, you just wipe back over it again. No big deal. Okay. And as of right now, I really can't do too much more to it, but to just let it dry. All right. Now, as you know, with us painters, we obviously paint on a vertical surface. This is glycerin. Glycerin expands when it dries, but you also got gravity working with it. So now it's going this way. So it's going this way as it's expanding. You follow me? So if you did this on a flat surface, obviously it would just sit there and then it would just dry. Okay. You're on textured paper because I'm using nothing but watercolor paper. There's no backing back there. This is just plain watercolor paper. I just cut it in half. I have a huge sheet of this thing, so I just cut it in half. So it's 12 by 16. Okay. What else? When you add, even with watered down craft paint, once acrylic paint dries, it still has a texture. You got me? Okay. So your paint and your glycerin is going to register that texture, which is why you see little indentations of the paint. You see indentations of the paint itself. Natural thing that's going to happen. It's happening right now, even with the mountains. It's got texture all over the place because you can just take it in your hand and feel it. All right. But the glycerin and the paint is interacting with that texture. Okay. All right. Now, what if you want, if you like the way your sky looks, maybe you want this a little darker, ochre, or whatever. You can do that also. Just add more paint to your, just add more paint to it, really. And just, you go back and forth. Okay. If you want it more obscure, okay, that's truly up to you. I really don't want it more. I think what I have here is fine because of what I'm going to put in front of it. Now, if you want to put all sorts of natural colored woods, rocks, tree, whatever you want to put in front of this, one, it has to be larger. Two, keep it kind of true to color. All right, then what you're going to have, what you're going to have here is an extremely washed out, bright sunlight day with your woods or whatever right there in the foreground. So like once you're walking out of the darkness, you're walking into, big valley or whatever it might appear to look like. Okay. So that's actually, through all of my hacking and coughing, what I'm trying to explain to you. All right. Okay. So as I'm running my mouth and coughing in your ear, it's drying. Okay. Now it's only 88 degrees in here. Okay. But it is starting to dry. All right. And once again, I can lightly go over things and either do the crisscross or whatever, or you just leave it alone. It's just where I might see little bubbles or little streaks. I don't have to mess with this up here. It's pretty much a done deal. But every time you wipe across it, you kind of you thin out the paint. It won't kind of gather on you as much. And I'm going very light with it, so I'm not getting rid of the color because some of the color is starting to set anyway. All right, but this is basically how it's done. So if anybody has any questions or any comments, let me know, because I gotta get out of here in the next 12 minutes. So more than likely, depending on what time I come home, I'll probably end up finishing this tonight, which won't be too bad. The cone is silent. Nobody's saying anything. Appreciate it, Billy. Appreciate you. But like I said, this is something that's I think it'd be helpful and beneficial for anybody. Once again, you can do this with water also, but remember, there's a kind of a drawback with water. You're gonna need a large enough brush, and now when you do acrylic in water, now you're talking about watercolor. All right, and you're gonna need a large enough brush. You're gonna need enough paint, okay, to pull this off, so you get at least a nice even coat. All right, and if you do it that way, I would recommend you really not doing it on a vertical surface, because then you're apt, because gravity, so all that paint goes downward, and you got it water and paint. Now it's all going to come downward, it's going to spread apart, but now you're going to have them little lines going through it and all of that disturbing stuff, so you would have to do it on a flat surface. That's all right, working and lurking. Hey, I hear you. Nothing wrong with that. Oh, Bruce, you can do this, brother. I've seen your work. You've improved so much that I really just, all I do is sit and watch you. Because even if you do come upon a problem, you're able to figure it out. No, I just sit and I just watch on the big screen and enjoy it. If I'm driving, obviously I'll watch it on the phone. Or if I'm busy at the main computer room, I'll put you on the phone and just watch it. But no, you do fine, and you're trying new and different things, and you're adapting different techniques from other artists. So that just signifies growth. So I just sit back and enjoy you, and I just talk junk and stir the pot. So no, everything is good, bro. You're doing all right. I can't show you guys yet. The light, I think I got it at a pretty good angle to where you guys don't see it too much, but it's starting to dry. Once again, glycerin is reflective. Okay, so once it does dry, it turns flat, much like acrylic. It just turns flat. Okay, and it's starting to tack up. Okay, well, once again, my room is it's pretty warm in here today, so I don't even have the heater on. It's just warm. The other heaters are kicking on, so I don't have to help it along. So when I do come back, because this will be finished tonight or whenever I get back, it'll be more natural colored scenery. I still may put the trees there because I might want some regular shrubbery type of trees, and I'll put branches and leaves, but not too many leaves. I like the sky, I like what it's doing. So I'll put a couple trees here, and maybe You know, I'll throw some rocks in there, but not big enough to where it obscures everything. Okay, so the trees, even though the trunks will be up there, I'll have the leaves kind of dip down a little bit, and maybe a few little ones over there, so it kind of frames it a little bit. But I still want enough up there so it looks like you're still enclosed, looking into the painting. Okay, not a terribly difficult painting to do, you know. Well, Bruce, I've been painting for 11 years, 12, going on 12 years, and I'm not happy with everything I do. And I busted my butt trying to learn this stuff. Most artists aren't really completely satisfied with their work. You know, they're always overly nitpicky. I should have did this better. I should have did this. I should have put this brushstroke here. Every artist just about goes through all of that. So that's just a normal process. That's just us and our brain and the way we think and the way we process and put information down on paper. All right, that's all of us. That's a normal thing, really. You know, I just spend my time really just teaching a bunch of techniques and then applying them, and you know, showing people what you can do with them. You know, so it's just a natural thing that we as artists do. So, you know, that's really no big surprise. It's just what we do, bro. So I gotta wake up my sleeping dog. I gotta feed him. I already took him out for a walk, so I do gotta feed Big Boy before I get out of here. So once again, I just have to really do is just really let this sit here and just let it dry. Even if it's not totally dry when I get back, it should be. But even if it's not, I can still paint over it because I won't be using glycerin to paint over it. It'll just be solid paint. Okay. But enough of this should be tacky and dry. So if there's anything that I really showed you, okay, this, for instance, Bruce, this painting here, because I don't do enough of it, okay, I kind of misgauged a little bit. I should have, the base color of this mountain should have been this right here, okay, and it's not. If that was the base color, it would have been cool. But it was. This is like the highlight color. All right, the highlight color should have been the base color, and these mountains would have been even further back. Okay, so that was my error. But you know what? I make lemonade out of lemons. It's all right. The concept is still there. All right. Even though it's in gray, okay, but we still got that yellow ochre, got that weird washy look to it. Okay, so we're still good. It's just next time if I do it again, it would just be gray, more gray, the lighter gray. All right, and then I would gauge everything that way. Okay. As far as the trees being dark, that's fine. Okay. It's all right, because what I'm going to put in front of it doesn't necessarily have to be darker. It will just be in color. And if anything that's meant to be dark, it will be really dark because it's going to push all of that back. If dark as that is, that's not black, that's still gray. But now it's gray with yellow ochre on top of it. So it's still going to be pushed back because you got a layer of color on top. That's just the way your eyes perceive things. Okay. So, yerp. All right, guys, I do got to get up out of here. I gotta feed the horse. I really don't need this paint that's on here. I know it looks like I wasted a lot of it. But trust me, when you got like a quart of paint, you're not wasting too much. But I gotta get this off of here. Especially this stuff. Let's move this water. I do gotta clean this up before I get out of here. So it just goes away. I have a large garbage bag right here beside me, so I just kind of scoop it up, rub it against the against the plastic bag. The rest of it just drips away. Okay, yeah, I know it's a dreadful thing to kind of scoop up all that nice expensive paint and put it away, but throw it out. But you know what? It's all good. Sometimes, you know, I'm blessed. People send me a little bit of change my way, and it helps me just essentially get more paint, you know. So I always keep a pretty good supply of this stuff around. Even when I feel I don't need the paint, I buy more, because you just never know. So you know, it's always good to have a little bit more than what you think you need. All right, I keep the paper towel company. I pay off their mansions and yachts. Let's just put it that way. You know, the paper towel people love it when I come around. I think they pretty much enjoy it when all artists come around, you know. So certain, of course I miss, that's why I don't play basketball. Certain paints have, it's just the way they're made, because certain colors come from chalk or rock, and so it has a grit to it, including titanium white. The ochre, the umbers, some of those got texture to them, but that's just red in the paint, the pigment itself. Like I say, it's just the way they're made, and it's just the material they use to make the paint. So that's why when you see me wiping, you get that little granular smeary look. That's why. All right, everybody. Eventually I should more or less be back. Let's put this to where I'm comfortable seeing it, which is right about there. Okay. I should be back to really finish this. I'll probably end up using I'm in my image, my mind's image, I'm looking at some brighter greens and some reds, and you know, the rocks there, which will be pretty darn dark. Probably blue and black mix for the rocks. Probably a little bit of that for the trees too, because the trees might be pretty much backlit because of all that brightness here in the front. So it ought to be a fairly interesting looking painting. All right, guys, I shall see you when I see you. You guys be safe. Enjoy the start of your weekend. Take care of yourselves, and I'll see you.